Hello, welcome to Pepper Rose. I'm Pepper.
I'm Rose.
Hi everyone. Today Rose gonna give us a lecture. I don't know if lecture is a good word about artifacts in Genshin Impact. No matter you're a beginner for Genshin or you're a pretty experienced player, I don't think you want to miss this. So yeah. I'm today, kind of want to learn something from Rose about artifacts, just the same as you guys. So yeah, welcome to Rose.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. And as many people know that artifacts mean a lot in Genshin Impact. And there are two major reasons. One is free. So if you are F2P and have no extra primo gems, for character, constellations, and also 5-star weapons, the artifact is the only place you can work on to increase your damage. And second, any excellent artifacts that can be used for a very long time until you quit the game. So that's why it's worthy the time spending on artifacts. No matter how much you're gonna spend on that, it's still a very big game.
Oh my gosh, trust me, I spent a lot of time on my artifacts and I still didn't graduate it. It's just annoying sometimes.
Yeah, that's pretty normal. Actually, that's like a MiHoYo's expectation. Would like to everyone to spend lots of time on artifacts in order to force everyone to log on the game and spend at least half an hour per day on artifacts. To go back to the topic, what's the meaning of the artifact strength? As the name suggests, how greatly an artifact can increase a character's strength in combat. In terms of star level, Genshin Impact offers 5 rarities of artifacts: 1 star, 2 stars, and 3 stars, 4 stars, and 5 stars. Rarity affects the overall quality of an artifact, including the base stats, the maximum number of substats, and the maximum number of possible upgrades. As a general rule of thumb, the higher the ranking, the better the artifact. All artifacts have a min stat, along with up to 4 substats. That's very basic knowledge of artifacts.
Well, I rarely use, I would say I never use 1 star or 2 star before. I always feed them to my higher star rating one. So yeah, I don't know. Is there any other use for the lower star one, or
Right. If you recall the time when you just began to play Genshin Impact,
but at that time I just use no artifacts. I just go always plain,
Yeah, that's one common mistake. When people just started playing Genshin Impact, they never upgrade their artifacts.
Oh no.
Yeah,
that's me. That's totally me.
Yeah, actually just make the game even more difficult without upgrading the artifacts. So in this video, we're trying to evaluate and find the stats that can make the best artifacts for optimizing your character build. But specifically, since everyone cares about DPS, so damage per second, so in this video, we mainly focus on increasing the damage. Otherwise, if you don't care about defeating a Hilicho in 10 minutes, this video is not for you.
Okay, probably I should leave. I don't care.
Oh, really?
Even if it's using my child, I don't care. I can watching him for 10 minutes, or 10 more. But yeah, I'm just kidding. Of course I care.
Okay, then you have lots of time on Genshin Impact.
Yeah.
Let's start with the star level. Literally, if an artifact is associated with a higher star level, it's better. So, which means 5-star artifact is always over all the other tiers.
That I do have a question. For when I was a beginner, I remember it's a really in 4-star range. There's a really good one. What is it called? It's it have a rose or the warrior set.
Oh.
Yeah, that one. If you have 2 of them, it can increase your critical rate.
Okay, if I remember it correctly, the one you're trying to talk about is Berserker. So.
Oh yeah, I think so. The blue one.
Okay.
I know the basic they have all like blue color in it, and I remember the flower is like a really pretty blue rose kind of. So I remember that one when I was like in low word level. I can't get enough like 5-star artifacts, so that time I remember I used that for a long time because it can increase your critical rate like by 12%, which is like really nice. So
yeah, like for anyone who like below adventure rank 40, definitely Berserker is maybe a very good option for you guys.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but after reaching adventure rank 40 or world level 5, it will start to drop the 5-star artifacts in artifacts domains. Even though the drop rates are still extremely low, but actually player can start farming 5-star artifact set from that point if you don't have any 5-star yet.
Okay.
Yeah, but as long as you have one 5-star artifact, just use that rather than other levels. Okay, so Pepper, I'm not sure whether you are very familiar with like the main stats of the artifacts.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have been struggling with artifacts for a while right now, so definitely I know those. I'm always getting those like defense and HP. Oh my god, so annoying.
Yeah. So there are the 5 types of artifacts, namely flower, bloom, sands, goblet, and circlet. Flowers and the feather always have flat HP and attack, mean stat, as so many people know. And the mean stats of the other artifact types will be randomly selected when you obtain an artifact. But only goblet can have a bonus damage, and only circlet can have critical rate, critical damage, and a healing bonus. So I will attach the table here, so anyone just want to get a reference, just feel free to pause here. Okay, what are the effective mean stats? To answer that question, we need to consider both the artifact type and the adventure rank. If your adventure rank is between 1 to 34, you might consider giving priority to attack percentage over the other 4 mean stats. Choosing the right mean stats is over the artifact stats.
Oh, really? I didn't know. I was so focusing on that like Berserker's like critical rate. I remember I used that like all the time when I was like
And if your adventure rank is between 35 and 44, besides the mean stats, red artifact sets should be taken into account. It can be either a 4-star set or a 5-star set. It's better to have a goblet with mean stat as bonus damage. In terms of sands, it's always like attack percentage. But for circlet, if you have anything associated with a critical rate or critical damage, then use it. Otherwise, don't worry about too much. Just use anything you think that can optimize your team building.
Oh, I wish I have someone like you to walk me through that when I was like lower adventure level. Like right now, it's like, oh, I should have known this before.
Right, always like after spending lots of rising on that, right? Yeah. Last, if your adventure rank is more than 45, now artifact domains start to drop 5-star artifacts. In this stage, 5-star artifacts of course are the best. Artifact set bonus should be considered. Please equip either 2 or 4 artifacts of the same set in order to get a unique set bonus. In most cases, the sand should be attack percentage, goblet should be the bonus damage, DPS characters will favor critical rate and critical damage heavily as it scales better than other stats. Why? The elemental physical damage, critical damage, and also the base attack plus extra attack from artifacts are major multipliers for damage calculation formula in Genshin Impact. So in order to make the number of each multiplier as large as possible, we need to choose the right primary stats for artifacts at least. By the way, healing supports will make great use of the healing bonus mean stat. However, let me ask you questions. When you choose like your artifacts besides the mean stats, What do you consider the most important ones for substats?
Well, then I would say definitely there's like two critical thing, like the critical rate and critical damage. I would say like for so far, I basically care more about the main stats because I have been getting garbages for sure. So, but yeah, if I have anything that really nice or exactly what I want in the main stats, I definitely gonna see which one have like higher critical rates or critical damage. But it depends on the character too. You know, some character need like energy recharge, then I will prefer those.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we listed all the possible substats here, and you can just give you a reference. Once your adventure rank is about 45, it's time to consider the substats in your artifacts. As we mentioned in the beginning, we mainly focus on increasing the damage. Critical rate, critical damage, and attack percentage are the effective stats for most of the DPS characters. For exceptions like Kokomi, we will not cover this kind of characters in this video, since it's a general guidance.
Kokomi like needs HP, right?
Yeah, HP percentage and also energy recharge, attack percentage.
She's a little bit complicated to arrange a good set.
Right, right. So far, there is no best artifact set for Kokomi. There are lots of options. Okay, so now we know it's better to roll on critical rate, critical damage, or attack percentage each time when we enhance artifacts. But it doesn't mean stacking any of these three stats as much as possible is the best way of building characters. Actually, if the actual attack from the artifacts, those are the green attack number in character stat, is roughly 1.2 times larger than the base attack. The base attack is a white number, you can see from here. We can only focus on rolling on critical rate and critical damage, since diminishing marginal benefit for attack percentage at that point. So why is 1.2? Please find the table and the line graph for damage increase rate per 10% attack increase. So from the calculations, we can see why actual attack is 120% of the base attack. It's a knee point in this gain curve.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
oh my gosh.
So it's very clear.
Math.
I know like people may get bored with math, so we don't want to cover this detail of this calculation too much. If you are interested, feel free to pause here. Okay. Let's move on to critical rate and critical damage. As many people know, the optimal ratio is 2 critical rate to 1 critical damage. The ratio is already predetermined by miHoYo. If we look at the circlets, we can see the maximum critical rate we can have is 31.1%, but in terms of critical damage is 62.2%. Based on miHoYo's math calculation, the ratio is like 2 critical rate to 1 critical damage. It's a best allocation, so that's why.
I didn't pay attention to that. Yes, it's exactly the 2 point something.
Right, always trust miHoYo on that perspective. But critical rate and critical damage also have diminishing raters. From the line curve, we can find that critical rate is less than 50%, then the damage return is not optimal. That's the reason why if your AR is below 45, you will get more benefits when adding more attack percentage in artifacts. While when critical rate is 75% and critical damage is 150%, the damage increase rate reaches its peak. So which means even though more critical rate and critical damage will add more damage for sure, but cost performance ratio is starting to be lower and lower. In reality, critical rate and critical damage are not easily to roll on from artifacts. So personally, we think critical rate is at least 55%, and critical damage is at least 110% are acceptable for DPS characters.
Oh, this is so hard to reach. My Light and Shogun now it's like still like only like 35. Oh my gosh, it's just so hard. I can't get a critical rate higher substats in any of the parts.
Yeah, actually, that's a very good point because when we think about our artifacts optimization, we also need to consider the secondary stats we obtained from the weapons. So for Raiden Shogun, because her best weapons, the secondary substats is energy recharge. So
Yeah.
definitely we need to work on her artifacts even harder than other characters.
Oh man.
Right, if your weapon, the secondary stats is critical damage, actually it's very easy to get like a more than 150% of critical damage. So in that situation, you need to consider to increase your critical rate to at least 70% in order to get the maximum benefits. Okay, even though now we know the optimal allocation ratio for attack percentage, critical rate, and critical damage, but in general, when we are talking about substats, critical rate and critical damage are always over attack percentage because in Genshin Impact, we have so many ways of boosting attacks rather than any artifact substats, such as getting attack buffs from food, double pyroting, attack buffs in Spiral Abyss, artifact stats bonus, weapon passive effect, weapon secondary stats, and a Bandit's Burst. Especially for Bandit's Burst, we can gain an attack bonus. That scales based on Bandit's base attack. It's expected to gain additional 20% of Bandit's base attack. While for critical rate and critical damage, there are still some ways of getting them. But compared with attack buffs, miHoYo added more limitations and prerequisites for getting critical rate and critical damage. Eating food is the quickest and easiest way. In my personal opinion, Bandit is one of major reasons of making attack being inferior to a critical rate and critical damage. Even though there is no attack percentage substat in your artifacts, you can easily catch some up by bringing a Bandit to your team. Do you use Bandit a lot?
Oh yeah, every day. Like Bandit, like no matter, you know, sometimes it depends on the boss type. You have to switch your team like to hydro focus, cryo focus, or
Right.
you know, like but Bandit is always in there.
Okay.
It is the number one character that I would say you must have.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, sure. So now we have covered the most common substats that can increase DPS, but for some characters, besides attack percentage, critical rate, and critical damage, other substats are also very helpful on boosting DPS. For example, Hu Tao, HP percentage and elemental mastery are also ideal. Albedo, defense percentage is a good one. The good substats that varies for different characters. The only one universal rule of good stats for all characters is critical rate, critical damage, and attack percentage, except Kokomi.
Yeah, like Albedo, I have enough artifacts for him. I got so many defense hat. You can't imagine. Like he can just choose anything from them. Like so many defense.
Okay, that's basically we cover like the basic information of the artifacts. Hopefully it will be very helpful for you guys. Next video, we're gonna talk about how to evaluate whether the current artifact set is good enough. Do we need to switch to another artifact domain for next character? Please keeping your eye on that. Okay, so feel free to subscribe our channel if you like our content and also leave your comments for any questions. We're also doing the Genshin streaming on Twitch every weekend, so feel free to join us.
Yeah,
See you
welcome.
guys.
See you.